Yu Yu is top 5. That's all. That's it. You can leave. Sup y'all, I'm ecstatic to finally be able to talk about Yu Yu Hakusho in its entirety. Wow, there's so much to say. But for starters, the rundown. So once I really started watching anime content on YouTube, Yu Yu Hakusho always seemed to be mentioned. Whether that was in Anime House, where Yusuke is one of the best characters, or just through random discussions like the Demon Within trope and stuff like that. On top of that, it gets the praise of having the best tournament arc of all time in the Dark Tournament. And people constantly mentioning how legendary Tagashi is for creating Yu Yu and Hunter x Hunter, a series I have seen a good bit of before and enjoyed. On top of that, every time I seen the characters or a clip, I would want to watch it so badly. Yusuke seeming like the most hilarious and toughest main character ever. Hiei just being overly cool to me for the longest. And then Kurama grew on me to be super cool. By this point, I was dang near begging to watch this show, so I finally did. And now I can confirm that Yu Yu Hakusho is a classic. Its strong themes and intense moments help set up the blueprint for modern shonen. Yet I was surprised by how well they were executed. You would think the early models of something like the iPhone or a computer would be terrible compared to the modern work, since the modern models have the example to go by and have seen the mistakes of the former, but no. Yu Yu is amazing from the get-go and kept that top tier quality from the start. Its main themes of purpose and morality makes the series super impactful even 30 years later. Top that off with the insane animation. You really just can't beat that 90s anime color grading. And scenes like Yusuke unlocking the spirit wave just proves the quality. But outside of the general qualities, I really want to talk about the characters. I wholeheartedly believe that this main group is the best group of characters in all of anime. The combo of Yusuke, Kuwabara, Kurama, and Hiei is undefeated. Some come close like Bleach's main group of characters, and especially the main Soul Maesters and Weapons of Soul Eater. Both those animes being my favorite two ever, and I will still give it to Yu Yu. Yusuke is just the perfect shonen protagonist. He's funny, cool, with the fire design and powers. But what truly makes him great is his character. Yusuke is the real tough delinquent who badmouths everybody and everything, but throughout the show, he shows that he truly is a good person who really just needed correct guidance. And over the course of the show, I like that Yusuke's morals slowly get darker and darker. Yet Yusuke proves that even with his demon heritage, he will always choose the side of purpose over power, while still being able to respect that demon side that makes him him. Kuwabara for sure was the biggest surprise for me. Out of all of the main four, he was the only one before watching I had absolutely no interest in whatsoever. I honestly never thought to care about him. But quickly in the very first arc of the show, he changed my mind, and ever since that point, I've been a die-hard fan. His powers are super cool. The Spirit Sword is just gas. And I wanted my boy to get with Yukina so bad. What I love about Kuwabara is that unlike Yusuke, he had better role models in his life. Although maybe not directly from a father figure, he clutched onto the morals he was taught. This created this manly code for him that was always honorable and just made me always want to root for him too. He really is just a real one and a perfect example of how to write a deuteragonist. Kurama, my favorite character. Ever since I started playing Leaf from Tekken and Tekken 7, I've always loved the suave, elegant, yet flashy characters. And Kurama is no exception. On top of that, I've always loved plant-based powers, so he's honestly 2 for 2. And on top of that, I love strategic characters, whether it's in general knowledge or battle IQ, so he's really the full package. But yeah, his design is peak, Yoko Kurama is an insane transformation, and his story of letting go of his past and fully embracing his future was amazing. Speaking of which, there's Hiei. Which, come on, he's just dope. Top tier design, top tier powers, top tier backstory, top tier aura former. Is there anything he doesn't have? I love how Hiei over time enjoys the company of the others. And man, I wish he just told Yukina he's her brother. I don't think anything will compete with this main four. I would also consider Botan and Koema to be main characters too. Botan becoming the main waifu. She's super funny and the fits are just so tough. And Koema is cool too. His teenage design is just fire. And when bro was using that pacifier in Chapter Black, it was just hype. Anyway, Keiko is a very well-written character. I love her and Yusuke's relationship. Yukina is adorable and Shizuru is very funny. Next, of course, the other thing that makes Yu Yu Hakusho so special are its banger arcs. Now this is probably because how old the show is, but Yu Yu's arcs don't really get talked about enough outside of the Dark Tournament, which sucks because they're all really good with qualities that make each one very intriguing. Starting with the Spirit Detective Saga. Now I've said this before in an old video, but the first 4 or 5 episodes of the show has to be one of the most emotional starts to a show I have ever seen. The characters were written very well in this mini arc, and it really set the groundwork for making you like Yusuke, Keiko, and Kuwabara. I found the Genkai tournament to be a really fun watch, which is really what most of this saga was like since everything didn't get as serious yet. The Yusuke vs Rando fight was pretty cool, along with most Yusuke fights in this saga, like him versus Shizaku. King of May's castle was really cool because the gang was finally united and we got to see Kuwabara unlock the Spirit Sword. This arc also represents how most of the fights would go for each of the 4 fighters, especially in the Dark Tournament arc. Speaking of which, the Yukina rescue arc was a perfect segue to it, and it started revealing how dark the story of Yu Yu Hakusho could get. Now, the Dark Tournament saga. What can I say about this arc that hasn't already been said? It's just so amazing, bruh. I think the first half is just a good time that you mostly spend on the action and very entertaining fights. But around halfway when that Genkai story kicks in, whew, everything from Yusuke unlocking the Spirit Wave and up was peak. Genkai's backstory, the dynamic between Yusuke and Toguro, and the Yusuke and Keiko moments, bro. And how they reflect Toguro and Genkai, it's just so good. That entire story topped with the firefights you get throughout the arc, especially in the final round, oh my gosh. I will say my only criticism is I think Genkai should have stayed dead, but regardless, the death of Genkai and overcoming grief are my favorite 2 episodes in the whole show. Plus I do like her being in Chapter Black. Speaking of, so this has got to be the arc I'm most excited to talk about. When I say the other arcs in Yu Yu don't get talked about enough, this is the main one I'm referring to. Just everything about this arc was First off, I like that at the beginning, this arc started with a more mysterious detective angle. This is just so cool to me because Yusuke truly feels like a spirit detective. And it kind of reflects the same innovative writing that Togashi flexes in Hunter x Hunter. I also like how this arc questions the character's morality more than any other arc, which is reflected mainly through the big bad Sensui. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it, he is my favorite villain of the series. Toguro is fire. Yomi is cool, but Sensui is such a fire and complex antagonist. I also like that in this saga, Togashi made the fights much more hack-centric, making the fights less straightforward and much more interesting. Also, this arc popularized a trope that still rings to this day in modern shonen, and I will always love it. The Demon Within trope. I also really love when the MC dies in a story because it can leave a series with such an empty, hopeless, and very strong grieving feeling. Also, that final fight is my favorite in the show. I know some people don't care for it, but I love it. Honestly, this arc rivals the Dark Tournament. If it wasn't for the Genkai stuff, Chapter Black would take it. These two are neck and neck in some of the greatest arcs in all of shonen. And lastly, we have the Three Kings saga. This could have been the best 3 arc run in any anime, and the best war arc of any shonen. And I don't even think that's glaze. I genuinely believe this. Unfortunately, the stress, health, and burnout of Togashi caused this ending to be rushed. But I gotta say, this setup was legendary. Having the 3 demons in the main group join different sides, each having their own personal reason for joining their king, making us question whether or not they will switch up on each other. Yusuke's recurring yearning for purpose and understanding for his demon heritage. I also want to say that I respect Togashi for leaving Kuwabara out of this, since this arc really doesn't need him here, and I think he deserves a bit of a break. Now, if this arc had stayed with the initial war direction that Togashi was going for, it would have been amazing. Especially with a 3-sided war, I often imagine how it would have gone down. And even though I was bummed out to hear that there was going to be another tournament, it was actually pretty good. I mean, sure, it was still kind of rushed, but the anime version gave Hiei and Kurama very satisfying conclusions to their respective stories and characters. It was nice to see some of the demons from the Dark Tournament again, and Yusuke vs Yomi is the top tier fight, and the I don't know what I'm fighting for scene is one of my favorites in the show. In conclusion, Yu Yu Hakusho has become one of my favorite anime of all time. Once again, it's incredible the amount of qualities in an anime that started it all. Themes and tropes that Yu Yu popularized are some of the best renditions of those themes and tropes throughout all anime. The romance is one of the best in shonen, the soundtrack is top tier, and it's inspired so many other classic works. Even though towards the end the writing got a little shaky, I still believe this show has the best rush ending of all time. This entire scene is the best last 5 minutes of any anime, hands down. This is truly a timeless story, and I feel blessed that I was ever able to experience it. Bang.